If you are a nurse in the United States and you want to move to the European Union, then this video is dedicated to you. In this video, we're going to walk through what you have to do to get your credentials recognized and get employment in the European Union so that you can transition smoothly into moving abroad. If it's your first time here, my name is Miriam Greenidge and I'm an attorney. I not only practice law, I've also built a business regarding helping people move abroad. I've compounded my legal knowledge regarding estate planning, contracts, international law to build a program for those who want to move abroad. And I offer so many videos on YouTube dedicated to helping you transition. If you need a little more support and you want a little more refined information, I also have a Move Abroad course that walks you through not only the visa process, but other things you have to be considering: healthcare, landing healthcare as a healthy individual, or if you have pre-existing conditions, there's some workarounds that you need to be thinking about. If you have a small business in the United States, making sure you're tax compliant while you're working remotely as a digital nomad. We also walk through buying property in foreign jurisdiction, the things that you have to look out for. So it's a really in-depth course that irons out the things and the particulars that you have to be considering regarding moving abroad. This is about bridging your life in the United States with your new life abroad. So if you like that sort of thing, the link to the course will be in the description box. Now, without further ado, we're getting into how a nurse will transition her credentials and move abroad and be able to still work as a nurse in the European Union. As a baseline, the European Union has what's called an EU blue card. I'm going to see if I could share my screen. Yeah, I think I could do it, which is a authentication of your credentials as a nurse, whether that's an LPN, an RN, or a nurse practitioner. This is a baseline criteria check that you have to go through. As I said, I believe I said in the beginning, this is a long-term plan. This is not something that could be done in 3 months, 6 months. It takes about a year to get your EU blue card, also get credentialed. So this is the EU blue card. This is the foundational thing that you have to apply for even before you begin the move abroad process. And this is essentially how the European Union recognizes your credentials as a license holder, whatever the license may be. So as you could see, am I eligible to apply for an EU blue card? And I'll be sure to link this. This is from the European Union Home Affairs website. So you have to show that you have a higher education qualification at the tertiary level or a professional qualification at the post-secondary level. So this is whether or not you have a postgraduate degree, a bachelor's degree in the field of nursing. You also have to show that you have at least 3 years relevant experience acquired within the 7 years preceding your submission of the EU Blue Card application. So you have to be working at least 3 years before you can apply. You also have to land employment even before you apply for the EU Blue Card. So you have to have a valid work contract or a binding job offer too for a highly qualified employment with a duration of a minimum of 6 months. You also the job must meet the salary threshold in the member state. So if you are a nurse and you are looking to apply in the European Union, this is the foundational elements you have to have in place before you can even begin the application process or the visa process. So the EU Blue Card is how the European Union recognizes or authenticates your qualifications abroad, meaning you were educated in the United States and they have to authenticate and verify that you are in fact an expert in this qualified field. The EU Blue Card is not just for nurses, it's for anyone that has a licensed professions, for doctors, lawyers, nurses, an accountant wants to work in the EU. This is baseline of where you're going to apply. But again, this is specifically designed for nurses. So anyone applying to be a nurse, first you want to zero in on which countries have a nursing shortage. Many of the European Unions have a nursing shortage or because of the population decline. Germany is one of them. Italy is another one. Switzerland, the Netherlands. All of these countries have a healthcare worker shortage. And so they have additional requirements separate and apart from the EU that are additional. So you want to make sure you not only check this website, which is the EU Home Affairs website, but also the country's international migration policies regarding any other additional qualifications that you want to apply for. But this is just baseline. So if you're applying for the EU, you say you want to apply to work in let's say, the Netherlands. So you're going to watch this website along with what the Netherlands is doing in order to verify qualification. So, at a baseline, in order to apply for the EU, you have to have a higher education or qualifications at the tertiary level or a professional qualification at the post secondary level. Do you have a bachelor's degree? Do you have a master's degree? Do you have a PhD in the licensed profession? And you want to have proof of that. That could be your transcript, that could actually be your diploma. You also have to show that you have higher professional qualification. That's likely going to be your license. How long have you been licensed in this professional sector? You also going to have higher professional qualification attested by at least 3 years of relevant professional experience acquired within the 7 years preceding the submission of the EU Blue Card application. This provision concerns only managers and specialists in the field of information and computer technology. So this does not apply to nurses. You must also have a valid work contract or binding offer. So you also have to pound the pavement before you even apply for an EU Blue Card and show that you have a work contract to work as a nurse. The work contract must meet the minimum salary threshold of the member state. Each country, again, has their qualifications as to what job can be used in order to apply for the EU Blue Card. So, as you're applying for the EU Blue Card, you want to make sure that this job meets the criteria to pass the threshold of being qualified to apply for the EU Blue Card. Not every job on the job board sites will be eligible to segue into you applying for the EU Blue Card. Again, you also must be part of the regulated professions. So, one of the regulated professions have to do with whether or not it's like a license is required in order to have it. So that could be doctors, that could be nurses, whether that's a nurse practitioner, a registered nurse, an LPN, as well as accountants, even lawyers. There are also qualifications for those who are part of the unregulated profession, which don't need a license. They still may be highly skilled, but they don't need a license to practice. Now, if you want to know which countries have a nursing shortage, then this is a really good website for you to check out. This is dynamichealthstaff.com. It's a blog dedicated to narrowing down which countries actually have a shortage of nurses. Now, Germany is one of the best countries to get employment as a healthcare worker if you want to move to the EU. Germany is really aggressively trying to recruit foreign workers and has fast tracked a lot of the processes to get credentials of not only nursing professionals, but all healthcare workers. If you want to work in Germany or you're not necessarily married to a particular EU country, then you want to think about Germany as one of the countries that you can migrate to. The thing with Germany, you have to be proficient in the German language, as you could see
You
here.
want to learn a language and you have no idea where to start and you're so overwhelmed with all the choices out there, then here's one tool that I use. Single Pi is such a beautiful tool to learn a language. It shows you how to actually use the language. Language acquisition is not just about memorizing verbs. You have to see how it's used in everyday life. And that's why Lingo Pi is such a useful tool. You could watch your favorite series or even series that you're not even aware of in the language, and you see the subtitles in English as well as in whichever language. And you get to pause and highlight the words that you don't know and see the actual definition of it and actually hear how it sound and used, and you see the context. It's such a tool. You can listen to it on the go while you're commuting or going for your daily walk or exercising. You have a way to mirror it on your iPhone so that you can blow it up on your TV and watch it on a bigger screen. I love it. It's a tool that I use every day to stay fluent in Italian and Spanish. So, if you want to move abroad and you want to get employment abroad, this is a tool that's really going to benefit you and help you acquire the language a lot quicker. This is also probably going to supplement any other language tools that you're doing in the background. They say it takes about 600 hours to become fluent in a language. So that requires you to be really dedicated and focused and block out times. I recommend you do half an hour in the morning and half an hour in the evening and work your way up because it could be tiring. So if you want to move abroad and you need to learn a language, Lingo Pi is your friend. So, in terms of compensation, in Germany, nursing staff receive compensation packages between 2,000 euros and 3,000 euros per month, which is financially stable for nurses. Employers who operate in Germany are providing extensive relocation packages that help new international hires with visa applications, language education, while securing their housing needs. So there's also continuous training. So Germany is really rolling out the red carpet to recruit foreign workers. And again, the application process is expedited for Germany. Ireland is another country that's welcoming nursing professionals. Many people have a positive experience regarding nursing in Ireland. They are specifically focused on recruiting nursing specialists with expertise in mental health, geriatric care, and community nursing. The application process is straightforward. You can register through the Nursing and Midwifery Board of Ireland. Um, Expatriates can easily establish their life in Ireland because the country maintains an active cultural scene and accepting communities that creates pleasant lifestyle. Again, before applying to any of these countries, your credentials have to be recognized properly, and you must have all the necessary paperwork regarding you filling the unique need that that country needs. Many of these countries have a geriatric nursing shortage because there is such a large aging population and not enough nurses qualified in that field to care for those patients. The UK is another option for you. A lot of nursing opportunities. The UK has always really had a robust recruitment of nurses from Asia as well as the Caribbean. Sweden is also heavily recruiting nurses. Again, this is not Sweden's another country that you can consider. Fluency in the language is a requirement. Switzerland, another one, earning about 1,800 to 2,500 Swiss francs a month. I'm not exactly sure what the equivalent of that is in dollars. Let me see. So Swiss francs, it's about 22.36 a month US dollars. Or let's say 2,300 US. So from 2,300 to around 3,200 US dollars a month. It's a great location as well. Fluency in German, French, or Italian is a critical requirement for applying. So, again, you will need proper preparations. This is not something you're going to do quickly. This is going to take at least a year. And here is even a roadmap. Again, like I said, all countries maintain their own unique nursing board registration standard, which must be investigated and verified. So, you're going to learn about whichever country you're thinking of applying to, what are the criteria, and you want to start building upon that. Nursing board registration baseline require you to master their official language. So this is going to take about a year up to a year and a half to become fluency. There's studies that show that you could become fluent in a language in around 600 hours with the correct amount of activity. You have to start formulating your CV, displaying your professional abilities with your certification. You may also want to be acquiring additional certification in a nursing specialty that will make you even more valuable in their workforce. There's a lot of recruitment agencies in whichever country that will help you with the application process. And again, you need regular updates about visa regulations. So you always have to be aware of what are the visa application requirements. Are there additional criteria that you have to be paying attention to? This is an ever evolving thing that's happening in the world. It's a phenomenon of US Americans traveling abroad for work opportunities, but the benefits are profound. So again, if I were a nurse, this is what I would do if I were applying and wanting to move abroad. I would be start thinking a year and a half, and getting things in place. Hopefully this video has been helpful. Again, if you need a little more support, I have a course dedicated to walking you through the actual EU blue card process that you have to be thinking about it. I have endured it myself as an attorney, even though I don't plan on practicing law in Italy. It's still good to have in case I need it one day, never say never. It's still good to have that credential available if I ever wanted to work in Italy or an opportunity came across and I needed to be credentialed. So if you want more information regarding this, the course is really valuable too, and it's jam-packed with so much value to provide clarity in this move abroad process. Let me know if you have any questions in the description, and let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.